my name is Melissa and welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing the mid-year book freakout tag. So it is June, almost July, so we are halfway through the year. I have already completed my Goodreads reading challenge, so that means I've completed 75 books this year and I have so many more to go. And yeah, before I just keep talking on and on, let's go ahead and get to it. Okay, so the very first question is going to be, what is the best book you've read in 2019? I actually have two books and one that I'm in the middle of, which I already know is going to be one of my favorites. The first one is going to be Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. I freaking love this book, actually a lot more than I thought it was going to. It's a YA sci-fi novel about a girl named Spencer, and she is trying to win back her family's honor and wants to become a pilot and just show everyone she is this kick-butt character. I really appreciated the attention to detail that Brandon Sanderson did in, the fighting scenes of the pilots. It was freaking amazing, and there are some detailed sketches in here as well to kind of show you the different moves that they're doing. This book was so much fun, the characters were a lot of fun, and just if you haven't read this book, I definitely think you should check it out because I don't know, it's just amazing. Even if you don't like sci-fi, this is a really fun book. The second book that I chose would also be Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is a literary historical fiction book, and I picked this up because I love 70s rock music, or really, I really like Fleetwood Mac, and I just thought this would be so much fun. I didn't realize the style of writing was actually going to be set up as a documentary type. I enjoyed this. I know a lot of people don't really like that. They think it kind of detracts from the story, but to me, I was falling in love with the characters from the very beginning. I love watching documentaries, so kind of reading that format was really cool. I thought this was so much fun. Daisy Jones is such an amazing character that doesn't care what anyone thinks. She does her own thing. Just such a fun book. Yes, there are, these characters are flawed. They're not perfect. There's a lot of issues with drugs and, things like that. So just be aware if you are sensitive to those things. But yes, Daisy Jones and the Six is one of my favorites. I love rock music. I love, reading about, rock bands and things like that. So this was a lot of fun. The book that I'm currently in the middle of is The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. So obviously I really like Brandon Sanderson and his writing. I really find it extremely accessible and very easy to follow. He lays down, the magic system right away, and it just makes it so great to read. The characters are so well developed, even the side characters as well. And I am currently, I believe, 77% of the way through this book. I'm on 775 or something, I think. And I have been reading this for a week, so it's kind of taken me a little while to get through. But again, it is a 1,000-page book, and I just was so nervous to pick this book up. And I'm really glad that I finally did. It's just so amazing. It's so difficult to describe this world. It's just so big. There's so many different cultures, but the main points of the story are you're following several different characters. One of them is a slave, one of them is a thief, another one is, a prince in the army and things like that. So you're seeing all these different characters, and eventually I can't wait to find out how they all kind of come together, but it's just amazing to kind of see their struggles and what they're going through, and it's just absolutely amazing. I love this book so much. It's so much fun, and every chance I get, I pick this book up because I'm loving it. The second question is the best sequel you've read so far in 2019, and that is going to be The Blinding Knife by Brent Weeks. I read this back in, I believe it was March, for the Owl Readathon, and it was so good. I love the Lightbringer series. I know I'm only read 2 books in, and I think the 5th one is coming out in October. So this was just so good. It was even better than the first one, to be quite honest. There's even a school setting for one of the characters, and I love that trope. The characters, you learn more about them and who they are and what makes them tick. The magic system is absolutely fabulous. It takes colors, and different people can draft different colors, and different colors have different strengths, and so on and so forth. And I love the fact that there is a glossary in the back of this book, because I actually refer to it quite often, especially when I picked this book up, which is the sequel a year from reading the first one. But it's very easy to jump back into. Brent Weeks' writing is just so engrossing, and the action and fighting scenes are superb. love it so much. And if you are thinking about doing this, I believe they're doing a reread through, or even just picking it up for the first time, which would be really good to get prepared for the new release. The third question is a new release you haven't read yet but want to, and I decided to choose Finale by Stephanie Garber. This is a book that I went and did my shopping vlog and picked up. So I've had this for a little while and I just haven't picked it up yet. I read 30 pages of it, set it down, and haven't gotten back to it because I've been so engrossed in The Way of Kings, but I really want to finish this. This is a third book in a YA trilogy, and it was so much fun reading the first two, and I read them, you know, every time they come out, so I just haven't had a chance to read this yet. But I'm really excited to get back into this world and see how it finally ends and who gets together with who and all of that good stuff. So yes, I'm very excited. Question number 4 is most anticipated release for the second half of the year. I decided to go with The Dragon Republic by R.F. Kuang. This is the sequel to The Poppy War, which made it on my best books of 2018. I loved the first book. It is a grimdark fantasy, kind of taking Chinese culture into an epic type fantasy. I really enjoyed it. There was a school setting in the first one, big action scenes, just very hard-hitting things. It definitely was very emotional to read, but I really enjoyed it, and I definitely want to pick up the second one as soon as I can get my hands on it. Number 5 is The Biggest Disappointment, and sadly I'm going to have to go with Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating by Christina Lauren. This was so hyped. There was so much talk about how absolutely fabulous this book was. It is a new adult romance, and unfortunately it has a trope that I just don't really mesh well with. I just really don't like it. But up until then I really enjoyed it. It's a friends to lovers romance, and I really wanted to love this. I really wanted to love it as much as everybody else does, but unfortunately I didn't. It fell flat, and yeah. I feel so bad saying I didn't like it, but yeah, it was definitely disappointing and I really wanted to love it more. So number 6 is The Biggest Surprise, and for that I'm going to go with Nevernight by Jay Kristoff. This was a second chance book that I included on my video that I did. I picked this up via audiobook because unfortunately this didn't mesh well the first time that I tried to read it. I was 22 pages in before DNFing it, and it was due to the fact of the, what are they called, footnotes. So picking up the audiobook, it transformed this book for me. It made it so easy. It didn't seem like there was footnotes. It just, the audiobook is spectacular. So if you're having trouble with the footnotes and you like audiobooks, definitely try that route because it really helped me out. And this ended up becoming one of my favorite books of the year, actually. And I'm currently listening to the second book and just loving it so much as well. So yeah, this was the biggest surprise. I was not expecting to love it as much as I did, and just listening to the story just made it come to life for me even more. And yeah, just such great things about this book. So yes, I really did enjoy it. So number 7 is a favorite new author, and with that I'm going to go with Helen Huang. So I read both of these books this year. My favorite is definitely The Kiss Quotient, but The Bride's Test was a lot of fun as well. They are wonderful, wonderful books. So what I really enjoyed about these were the fact that there is definitely representation for autism and, you know, being on the spectrum. I just fell in love with all of the characters. She's currently writing a third book, and I'm definitely going to pick that one up as well. But I just thought these were just so much fun to read, just so lighthearted, and plenty of steamy scenes as well. They're just so great. They just make me smile, just make me happy reading them. And I really connected to The Bride Test because of the main character coming from, I believe it was Vietnam, and just her story about going to school and teaching herself all these different things, how to drive, just really hit home, and, you know, made me think of my grandmother and, you know, when she came to the US and getting her GED and things like that. So this was just a book that I really connected to, and yeah, just absolutely wonderful. And so many good things, I can't even talk about them. So number 8 is newest fictional crush, and I decided to go with Zeus from Welcome to the Dark Side. It is an age gap romance, so he's a little bit older, but despite the age gap thing, I just really loved how much he cared for the main character. And, you know, since she was a little girl, he helped technically raise her through these letters, and just he was very protective of the ones that he loves, and was, even though he's an MC president, so obviously he's doing things that are not so good, but deep down he's a really great guy. And I understand it's fiction, let's be real here, but yeah, I just really liked, deep down he was a great guy, and I just really liked his character as well, and it's one of my favorite books that I read and one of my favorite romance books that I've read. So yes, if you are interested in checking out this series, definitely do. He's fabulous. So question 9 is your newest favorite character, and I had to go with Mbot from Skyward. So I've definitely mentioned before how much I love this character in some of my previous videos. Just the witty banter, I will always think of mushrooms fondly. Just, I don't know, I really freaking love just the humor in this book, and especially from this character. Yeah, so I don't want to spoil too much or give anything away, but yes, I definitely really loved this character, and yeah, I don't know how much more I can say that. So question number 10 is a book that made you cry, and definitely this book was the epitome of the ugly cry. I am a book crier. I cry in movies. I am that person, and this is going to be The Simple Wild by K.A. Tucker. At the beginning of the book, you learned that the main character's father is diagnosed with cancer. She's estranged from him. He lives in Alaska as a pilot, and yeah, her mom left. They live in Canada, and yeah, she just hasn't seen him since she was like 2 years old, so she doesn't really remember him at all. But yeah, just the reconnection of the family in the story was so amazing, and just I was just bawling. I don't do well with stories of illness or anything like that, and this one really got to me. But yes, despite being really sad, this book is so amazing. I freaking loved it, and it's definitely one of my favorite, hate to love romances as well. But yeah, I was ugly crying. It wasn't cute. So moving away from these sad points, I'm going to talk about a book that made me happy, and that would be The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. So this was the biggest hit from Christina Lauren that I have read, and I love this book. It is the ultimate summer reading book, sitting by the beach. It is a story of hate to love, and they have to pretend to be husband and wife. So that's another trope that I love, is like the fake boyfriend type trope, and just is so cute. Set in Maui, and they go on these like cute fun little like daytime adventures type things, like outings, which was really cute to see. And I'm going to be traveling to Hawaii soon, so yeah, it just made my hype for this even more. So this definitely made me extremely happy while reading it. I love Olive, I love Ethan, and them together was just so cute. And yeah, this is definitely my favorite out of the 3 books that I've read by this author duo, and yeah, just pick it up. It's fabulous. It's a great summer read. So number 12 is the most beautiful book you've bought so far this year, and that's definitely going to be Wicked Saints by Emily A. Duncan. I'm not going to say this is a cover buy, because when I did read the synopsis, it sounded extremely interesting, but I am a sucker for a good cover, and this is one of the best that I've seen this year. I don't know, the white and the blood and the blue and the sparkles, just it gets me. This sounds like a fun YA fantasy novel. It has had a couple mixed reviews, but I don't care. I'm gonna go into it with an open mind and kind of see what I think. But yeah, this is one that I want to get to, and not just because it's a gorgeous cover. So the last question is, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? And I definitely chose all of the books that I want to read for my 500-page plus book challenge. So I'm doing a big book challenge, so each month I'm reading a big book, and so far I'm doing okay. I've missed 1 month, but there's another month that I read 2, so it kind of evens out. But I do have the Lightbringer series on that, and I want to kind of get to all of them before the new release, as well as I want to read the 3 current books that are in the Stormlight Archive series, so The Way of Kings and Oathbringer and Words of Radiance, or whatever books are in there. I do have the second book in, what is it? The Wheel of Time, that's it. Yes, so I have that. I have Foundry Side. Yeah, just a bunch of books that I really want to get to that are big fantasy books. And so far I'm doing okay on that challenge, so wish me luck. Hopefully I'll get to completing all of the books at the end of the year. Alrighty guys, thank you so much for watching the mid-year book freakout tag. I love watching these. I really like seeing the best and the worst so far, and really looking at all of the books that you have read as well. So I was just very surprised that I read as many books as I did, but yes, I had a lot of, really great books that I read and some that were not so great. But if you read any of these books or have any thoughts or opinions on them, I would love to chat about them in the comments down below. And I hope you have a great day and happy reading. Bye!